What is up, fellas? Coming at you guys today with a review for the new Aborted album, Terrorvision. Now, what I got to my side right here is not Terrorvision. I do not own it. This is my favorite Aborted album, Global Flatline. But before we get into any of this, we gotta shout out our album of the video, which is Sakage's Death Crust Satanique. Basically what this is, it's like kind of crusty, like thrashy punk. Well, I guess it's more along the veins of metal, but it definitely has punk influences. Like, the vocals really remind me of like Toxic Holocaust or something. But yeah, Aborted, Terrorvision. Is it good or not? Is it gonna be worthy of a yeet? On the yeet board? Let's find out. I'm just gonna make that my catchphrase now. Fuck you, Varg. I'm gonna be the let's find out guy now. Okay, let's get cracking, shall we? Alright, so first off, we got a little ambient intro, which, you know, is pretty typical among, like, extreme metal bands, you know, have, like, an ambient, ooh, spooky opener. It didn't really do anything for me. But then we get into the first true song, which is the title of the album, Terrorvision. Right off the bat, this song chops your head off and everyone else within slashing distance. Like, this is a fucking powerful opener. It's just really, like, no punches pulled, just, like, extreme, just, like, right up in your face. We still got the classic two dichotomy vocal range of the band, the guttural lows and the bellowing highs. Both I actually appreciate a lot. This song is high speed, high blood, high octane, and high thrill. The double bass rhythms of the drums are nice, and and there seems to be some experimentation in the vocals. Like, they're not just like the vocals off Global Flatline here. They were pretty stereotypical, but the vocals on this album are a little more experimental, at least to my ears. There's a meaty breakdown near the tail end of the track. Aborted, though, with all this album is kind of like developing into deathcore. I kind of want to say this new Aborted album and the album prior kind of are giving off them going more of a deathcore direction, which I don't really like. I mean, I've talked about deathcore before. Like, I like Carnifex, I like early Suicide Silence, I like early Rings of Saturn, but just deathcore isn't really my thing. I mean, there's really interesting riffing and a solid solo at the end. My only gripe is that it should have been a bit shorter. It kind of meanders at the end, and that's kind of like my main issue with most of the album, is that the songs are too long. Like, they don't have enough redeeming factors to validate their length. What we got next? Alright, Farewell to the Flesh. More classic Aborted, reminded me of Global Flatline era. The rhythm section is as manic and chaotic as ever. The bass isn't as audible as in prior Aborted albums, but it's still there, you know. Vocals are nasty and to the point, though the song evolves into some, like, airy, atmospheric shit, which in death metal I cannot fucking stand. Deathcore does that a lot too, where it's like, it almost sounds like a synth, but it's just airy, like, just really gazy and atmospheric. Gazy, My Bloody Valentine. No, but I don't know, I don't really like it. This was kind of my worry for the album, that this was going in a deathcore direction. Another breakdown, yawn. Too common. Though yet again the song meanders too much and overstays its welcome. Though the black metal vocals at the end were a nice touch. And that's like as far as vocals go experimentation wise. Otherwise, vocals here are pretty run of the mill. And after that, we got Vespertine Decay. This song starts off a bit ominously, this droning bell and faint guitar in the background. I liked it. It really kept me on my toes, you know, like wondering what's going to happen next. It eventually evolves into a mid-paced, Smosh-friendly vibe. The vocals are still tight, though the drumming isn't my favorite thing in the world. I mean, the drumming off TerrorVision is really, really boring so far. All it is just double kick rape. I hate it. It eventually gets back to the slit throat speed, you know, that Aborted are known for. With little guitar bridge among the nastiness. This is the third time I'm bringing up length. I mean, I don't know. Maybe I just don't like my death metal to be so long. Like, I think death metal should be able to get its message across in 5 minutes or less. Of course, not accounting for death doom or funeral doom or other styles of that nature. But yeah, this song clocks in at fucking 6 minutes. It's ridiculous. But yeah, and this album so far is too technical for me. Like, I'm not a tech death guy at all. I like my death metal to be really brutal and fast and kind of not that cerebral. But yeah, this does not redeem the 6-minute runtime. Up next, we got Squalor Opera. This is one of the weaker tracks, I think. It's just kind of boring for me. It's still decent, though, but the previous cuts just had better structure and more interesting moments. Like, I'd almost consider this track to be, like, filler. The melodic solos don't add much for me either, but then again, I just don't like too much melody in my death metal. That's another thing, too. I do not like melody. Like, I like melody in thrash metal. I like melody in traditional shit, but with black metal and death metal, just leave melodies out of it. It's supposed to be ugly and brooding. Maybe I'm a metal elitist, I don't know. Up next is Visceral Despondency. Okay, so far this is the most boring song on here. There's a little riff they throw in there at the end, but that's like full of gore and disease. But then the climax stops and it goes back to this airy garbage, just atmospheric bullshit. I mean, this track had so much potential, but it neutered itself. It's just, why? What's going on? Why are you doing this to me, Aborted? I used to love you. And then we got the song Deep Red. This has a promising intro, a totally skull-splitting riff they throw in there, and at the end there's another like clash of sounds. It's amazing. It's the nasty riff followed by crushing vocals. This track is a bit more straightforward than the previous tracks. The instrumental switch up was a welcomed notion. So far, Aborted really hasn't been trying to like be as crazy as they used to be. Like I've said 1,000 times now, they're playing it safely pretty much. But yeah, and there's a nicely paced and played solo that trudges this knuckle dragger along with more great vocal work. And the last riff off Deep Red was pretty fucking sweet. Alright, next up we got Exquisite Carnivorous Drama, whatever that means. This track is interestingly paced, I'll put that. Otherwise, it's just a normal straight-of-the-middle death metal. There's a little detour where things get airy and, you know, yawn, 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 yawn. But yeah, I'm not feeling this Aborted album so far. Got a few more songs left. Outro Inferno. This has an interesting, like, drone-ish riff at the beginning, but that's, like, the only interesting quality about it. Just feels more like filler. Then the song, The Final Absolution. This is the last track on the album. I kind of like the idea that we're going for in the song. Like, there's a pretty interesting little bridge in here, but like, And like, I like the idea of it. Like, it's like slowly creeping up. Like, it gets more and more intense as the song goes along, but otherwise, this is very predictable. So yeah, final thoughts. I thought this album was okay. I mean, it's not something I'd go out of my way for to listen again, but I don't regret listening to it. You know, it was still a pretty enjoyable death metal ride. I'm just way too damn picky with my death metal. But yeah, I mean, I adore their earlier work when they were more of a death grind band. But now, like, it seems like as they go farther along in their career, they seem to be getting more and more, like, technical and melodic and more deathcore influenced, but that's my take on it. I'm sorry, Global Flatline, Aborted has failed you. Did this come on a cool crescent? I don't remember. Maybe I'll spin this after this review. Fuck it. Okay, I'll go fuck myself. It's not on a cool color. But anyway, that's my Aborted review. Look out for the next edition of my vinyl shit that I'm gonna do in the future, in the recent future. Gonna try to review. Gonna do a classic review of Marilyn Manson's Mechanical Animals, and then there's 2 albums I want to review also. That is Switchblade Cheetah and Thy Dying Light. So look out for those reviews whenever I get around to them. Thanks for watching, thanks for subscribing, and